Hello everyone, Jeremy here, and this is the Amazon Fire TV. This device was announced in April, and it also came out in April, and it's Amazon's answer to the flurry of streaming devices out there that are plugged into televisions, like the Apple TV and the Chromecast and the Roku. So this is $99, and it may seem kind of expensive for a streaming box that doesn't have an Apple logo on it, but it is also, as of this moment, pretty much the most powerful streaming device that you can have in your home right now. So because this came out last month in April, why am I showing this to you right now? Well, because Amazon sent this to me to try out for 30 days for free. This is sort of like an incentivized promotion that they have going on right now for select people to see if you're eligible for it. I'm going to leave a link in the description that you can follow so that you can see if you are eligible for getting this Fire TV in your home for 30 days. And of course, you have to have an Amazon account. You have to have some sort of payment information tied to that Amazon account. So if you return it before the 30 days, Amazon won't charge you a thing. But if you keep it after those 30 days, then Amazon will just say, well, we assume you want it, and they'll go ahead and charge you the $99 for it. So I'm going to play around with this thing for a month, but I wanted to just unbox it and show you around the thing just because, why not? So this will allow you to stream movies, TV shows, music from a variety of different apps. The most popular ones are right here on the box: Netflix, ESPN, Amazon Instant Video, of course, Hulu Plus, iHeartRadio, and whatever you can find that's in the Amazon App Store. Because this is powered by Android, Amazon does not go so far as to call this an Android device, because you can't even tell it's an Android device because Amazon skins it so heavily. But all you do is plug this into the HDMI port of your television and away you go. So let's take a look at this packaging here. Inside of this, we are going to get the Amazon Fire TV, and we're also going to get a remote control that's supposed to have this really good voice searching capability to it. And of course, this all access via Wi-Fi, and you can also play games on this. I can't believe I forgot to mention that just up front. There is an optional controller that you can buy for this, and I believe it's like $50 or $60, that will allow you to play games on the Fire TV connected to your television, games that you find in the Android App Store. And these are just some of the publishers, the bigger publishers, that have contributed to the App Store. Amazon App Store, 2K, Sega, Gameloft, Ubisoft, it's all good. And Amazon Game Studios, which has a game of their own that debuted on the Fire TV. And we may take a look at that later. So on the back of the box, we just see this nice square black Amazon TV, and of course the media remote control. And then we have some specs along this side here. So of course, this is a quad-core 1.7 gigahertz processor that's inside the Fire TV, which is going to make it really nice and fast. It also comes with a remote, 2 AAA batteries, and the power adapter. So that's what's included, but what you need is an HD TV with HDMI input, of course. You need an HDMI cable, and you need the internet. Now, it's assumed that if you buy this, you most likely already have all of those things, especially since HDMI cables now are becoming just as easy to find around the house as USB cables. So even if you don't have an extra one, take one off of your other device, plug it into here, and you'll be good to go. So let's open up this box and look at all the fancy packaging, which is supposed to be frustration free. Now for the best part of unboxing videos, the actual unboxing. So if you ever purchase like a Kindle Fire from Amazon, you see that they come in these really very nicely packaged boxes here. I'm gonna flip this upside down. It'll be easy to take this out. And this is the Fire TV. It's just a square. Something that will be small and unassuming, and put right under or beside your TV. Very attractive device because it's just so simple. It's just a square with the Amazon logo on it, but it has some good heft to it as well. Over on the top, we have some sticky paper that wraps, well, it's not paper, it's plastic, that wraps all the way around. We're going to take that off and take a look at some of these ports. So for the ports, we've got a USB port starting right here on the left. There's your optical port, your HDMI, your power, and then there's Ethernet right there. If you want to plug in the Ethernet and not use Wi-Fi, might be a little faster, more reliable for you, you can do that. And then on all the other sides, there's absolutely nothing. So really, that's all that you need. And then on the back is just some FCC information and things that tell you that it was assembled in China, because of course it is. And then of course, you know, instruction manual. I don't really care about that, right? And then here's the remote. The remote is just like the Amazon Fire TV itself. You know, it's simple. You know, you have just your play and pause button, forward, back, well, fast forward and rewind, a back button, a home button, which I'm assuming this is a menu button. And then you can press this button up at the top here. You'll talk into the Fire remote, and then you can search for stuff. So if you've seen that Gary Busey commercial, you know, go ahead and search for Gary Busey. And it does come with 2 AA batteries as well. And then inside of this other part of the box, that houses the 2 AA batteries that you're going to need, and also the power charger, which almost looks like a little mini Fire TV. So yeah, that's all you get in the box. It's a very simple setup, and it's supposed to be, because Amazon wants this to be the least frustrating as physically possible. Easy to set up, and most importantly, easy to buy things on. So I'm going to connect this to my television. I'm going to take a good look at that interface and really see the speed of this thing, and I am also going to search for Gary Busey content. I have the Fire TV all up and running, and when you leave it alone by itself for long enough, it starts to go through this slideshow for a screensaver with some really gorgeous pictures. And if you looked at other videos on my channel, you know I am quite fond of nice pictures. So yeah, this is just something that you can just kind of leave on if you want to have some nice pictures going across your screen when you are not using the Fire TV. But if you are using it, let's just jump right in. So this is the interface. You know, one of the things I really do like about Amazon when you buy products from them is that when you plug it in, it already knows you. My account is already in here. I did not have to put in my password, email, or anything like that. It just asked me, do you want a 30-day subscription to Prime? And I said, yeah, sure. And it was like, all right, you got it. And then it dropped me right here on this home screen, and it is primed and ready to go. So this interface is very simple, because the only thing that you can do is just look at video apps, play some games, and listen to some music if you want as well. And your photos, if you have your photos uploaded to Amazon's cloud storage. But everything is very easy to access. So on the categories on the left, there's the home menu, which is also on the remote. So from wherever you are, whenever you want to get back to this screen, all you have to do is press the home button, and it'll automatically go right back up to home. Doesn't matter where you are, it just goes back to home. So Amazon has some recommendations that they think that you may be interested in checking out. One of the newest things is HBO on Prime Instant Video, which is new. There are some HBO shows that you can now watch if you are an Amazon Prime member, and those shows include The Wire, Rome, True Blood. Just to get this out of the way, Game of Thrones is not on here. Deadwood, 6 Feet Under, The Sopranos, Oz, Boardwalk Empire, Band of Brothers, Big Love. You know, the list goes on, and that's very cool. That's something that you can't get with Netflix. So the fact that HBO has made this deal with Amazon is a pretty big deal. And then going into the other categories, the movie categories, you have recently added to Prime. And if you want to buy movies, because you can buy movies on here too, you just don't have to use the Amazon Prime service. Here's a category for the new movies. The Lego Movie, at the time of this recording, this is the only place that you can look at this movie right now digitally, is from the Amazon video on demand service. And I can't believe IMDb gave this an 8.2 out of 10. Shame on them. That movie was a 10 all around. You got recommended movies, top movies on Amazon Prime, and you can shop TV, stuff for the kids, recommended action adventure, recommended for families, recommended dramas, kids, and just look at this list. Goes all the way down to your recently watched shows. For that's movies. TV is pretty much the same thing as movies, same basic categories. And then you have your watch list, which you would have. I have nothing right here, but as it says, your watch list is the place where movies and TV shows are saved for later viewing. So I don't have anything saved for later viewing. And inside my actual video library, only thing I have here is The Walking Dead. And then we have games, and then we have apps, photos that I do not have on here, but if you upload them to the Amazon Cloud Drive, you can pull them down and look at them right here, and the wonderful settings. Let's take a look at what something like a movie or a TV show would look like here. One of the main reasons why you will buy something like the Fire TV is the speed of being able to look at what you want to look at whenever you want to, because this thing does have a quad-core processor, so moving around and accessing things should be fast, and going through the menus, things are plenty fast. But what about when it comes to looking at actual content? Now, your internet connection will depend on this, because if you have a pretty fast internet connection, then of course things are going to start, quickly anyway. But for my connection, I want to see how fast things are going to go by looking at a movie that I have not started, that I have never seen before. The first thing that I saw, Star Trek Into Darkness. So I'm going to go to watch now. And there you go. It started pretty much instantaneously. I have not looked at this before. It did not resume. This is just straight up. So I'm going to back out of this. And let's just go to another movie. At random, closing my eyes and stop. Oops. Let's do that again. And stop. Peoples. Alright. Watch now on Amazon Prime. We got a little bit of loading going on. And I'd say after about, what was that, like 3 or 4 seconds or so, it started up. Let's do this one more time. This time, let's go for this time let's go for a television show. Hopefully something that is also on Prime. Well, you know what? The Wire. Loading. Whenever I do demonstrations like this, I always try not to edit the parts where I'm actually demoing things, because I want you to see how fast it takes for these things to happen. So episode 1 of The Wire, that was pretty much instant. So yeah, there's a good idea of how that works. Now what about voice features? There is a microphone on the controller, and there is a microphone icon on the controller, and what you do is you press down and you hold, and then you tell the Fire TV what you want to look at. So I want to look for, let's say, The Avengers. So I'm going to hold the button, The Avengers, let it go, and it says, did you say The Avengers? And then I'm like, yes, I did. And then there you go, Marvel's Avengers, and then it has Captain America and the Avengers. Got the cartoon, even got the other Marvel movies, Thor and whatnot. All right, let's look for Gary Busey stuff, because that's what the commercial did. Gary Busey. And what do you know? It found Gary Busey, just like it said it would. So if you're interested, all these Gary Busey movies that you can look at. The search seems to work pretty well. However, in the search, if there is anything available on another service such as Hulu or Netflix, it's not going to take you to that. In fact, it's just going to take you to things that Amazon has available. So let's say Bob's Burgers, something that I know is available on Netflix. Bob's Burgers. And I have Netflix installed on here. I go to Bob's Burgers, click on that, and you see my options are to just buy the HD version of the different episodes of the season, or just completely buy season 1. There is no option to, hey, you can look at this on Netflix, because Netflix is also installed on here, you know, something that the Xbox One does. So the search is limited to things that are within Amazon's library, not the entire app ecosystem that you might already have installed on your Fire TV. So if you really just want to look at things on Amazon Prime and buy things from Amazon, the voice searching will go very well. Let's try voice search one more time with, let's say, Quentin Tarantino. And when it asks me, hey, did you say this? I'm pressing the controller to confirm. And there you go. Works pretty darn well. I like that. Now this Fire TV can also do games. If you buy the controller, which at the beginning of the video I think I said it was like $50 or $60, now I think it's more like $40, you can play games. Let's take a look at some of the games that are available here. So same thing, we got different categories. We've got the Spotlight, there's the Cave, there's Minecraft, there's Tetris, The Walking Dead, Monster Shooter, Back to Earth. You know, you have these things for Spotlight. I installed one game already, but if you want to see games that are made for the Fire TV specifically, there is a category for that. But the games in this category aren't really all that interesting. I mean, look, you've got, and that's not saying anything bad against the developers, it's just, you know, do you want to play Hearts, Solitaire, Put the Planets? I mean, right now there's already 2 or 3 different solitaires, and there's GTA 3, yes. And then you have these games. You know, there's only a few that are actually really recognizable. And you can also further separate these from games that are compatible with just the remote and games that are compatible with the controller as well. Now, it will kind of depend on the game itself, whether or not the developer actually wants to support controllers, because if they don't want to support controllers, then it probably just won't work anyway. But if they do support controllers, it'll make it a lot easier. Let's go into this Despicable Me runner that I downloaded earlier, and I'm going to go to there we go. I couldn't find the icon. Alright, run again. So with the way, this is one of those endless runners where you move left or you move right and up and down. And I'm just using the controller and pressing on the various directions of this controller to control this game. So I'm going to move right. You see it's stuttering, it's stuttering a little bit. That could just be an optimization thing with the game itself, not necessarily because the Fire TV can't handle it, because surely the Fire TV can handle it, but this is really just an optimized thing. This game is blown up to fit the screen, and the control method, oh god no, on the on the Fire TV, it's just been supporting that, supporting the remote control. But yeah, things seem to be smoothing out right now. When I played it earlier, I encountered some lagginess at the very beginning, but then once I started running, it really wasn't an issue. Alright. So yeah, that works just fine. And now I've lost. Probably not the ideal way to play a game with a remote control, but hey, it does work. Besides just playing games and looking at movies and TV shows on the Fire TV, you can also download some apps because this thing is technically still running Android. So let's just take a look at some of the popular apps, or the top rated apps that's available right now. And we have things like Flickfolio for Flickr HD, which will let you look at your Flickr photos if you have a Flickr account. Movies by Flickster. This Pfolio to look at your Picasa and Google Plus photos. SmugHub Plex, which I think will be very popular amongst the media-oriented folks. We've got the Smithsonian Channel and even YouTube. I know that YouTube is going to be a really big motivator for something like this because, well, who doesn't love YouTube, right? This is where we are now. And this YouTube app looks exactly like the YouTube app on the Xbox One, pretty much identical to the app on the Xbox One. And you can also sign into this app if you want to, so that you can have access to all of your subscriptions and all of your playlists and things like that. And of course, it works just fine. So if I just wanted to look at this raw video of the president taking a surprise walk, click on it, loads up, and there you go.
Can't be regular, can't be routine.
You just imagine all of the protection he has all around him without you even knowing that they're there. So yeah, that's the YouTube app. It works fine, just like the Xbox One app, and it's pretty good. So if you want to look at YouTube on here, go right ahead. Absolutely fine. Let's take one more look at the available apps here. Here are some apps that are available. It's for the Fire TV specifically. We've got a Concerto, which is a web-based broadcast medium for digital announcements. Weather for Us, get some weather. We've got Magisto TV, HuffPost Live, Bloomberg TV. These are the ones that are made for the Fire TV, and as you can see, it's not that many of them. This platform is still pretty young, but these are some of the apps that you can get. And the other categories include entertainment, lifestyle, and international film. So if you want to do some entertainment stuff, we've seen that a lot of the same things in the other categories, like this Flickster app and this Plex app. But then there's also Showtime, Showtime Anytime, Watch ESPN, Pandora, Crackle, Netflix, of course, and the list just kind of goes on. It covers some of the more popular video apps that you might already be using right now, but they are available on Fire TV if you just wanted to consolidate all of the devices that you would usually use to look at that content into just one square box. So is the Amazon Fire TV for you? Well, it just kind of depends on how you currently live your life. For me personally, this would not be something that I would buy because I have an Xbox One, I have a PlayStation 4, I have a Chromecast, and all of those devices pretty much do the same thing, most of the same things that the Fire TV can do. You still have access to the Amazon Instant Video application. I still have access to Netflix. I still have access to Hulu and HBO Go, and ESPN if I wanted to look at some ESPN stuff. Many of the same bits of content that you can get from all those other services are likely available on the platform that you're currently using. In my case, mostly game consoles. And of course, the Chromecast is a bit different from this since it's totally reliant on something like your computer or your smartphone or tablet to tell it what to do, as opposed to having everything already built on it. But with all those three things combined, the Fire TV, for me personally, would be redundant. And it doesn't mean that it's bad by any means if you don't have game consoles that can also do this, or if you're not using a Roku, or even if you are using a Roku and you just want to be more greatly embedded into Amazon's ecosystem for their movies and for their TV shows and for their cloud drive stuff, then perhaps, and you have a Kindle as well, a Kindle Fire that you can start up looking at something on your Kindle Fire and then swipe it over to the TV so you can watch things just like that. That would be the reason why you would consider this investment in a Fire TV. It really has to be in order to be worth it, in my opinion, it has to be pretty much the only device that you're going to be planning to use to consume your online content on your big television. But if you already have so many different things connected to your TV that can do pretty much everything that this can do, with the exception of playing Android games, then I would just stick with whatever you're currently having. The Android gaming part to me is not a selling point. There's not enough support for it right now. Amazon might just be testing the waters, kind of see how many people are going to actually be using this for games before really trying to, bring that further up the list and bring it into the forefront. But for now, if I really just wanted to play Android games on my television and I want a dedicated box to do it, then that's what an Ouya would be for, because an Ouya would be cheaper and you would also have a controller included. So you want to go out and buy a Bluetooth controller for the Fire TV or Amazon's official controller for an extra 40 bucks. So in my opinion, overall, bottom line is Fire TV for me, no, because most things that I have can already do what it does. But if you don't have such things, Fire TV is good. My experience is fast. The voice search works really good. Samuel L. Jackson. The voice search works great. It's fast. And if you're going to be getting most of your stuff from Amazon, this is a good device. I think that it's good if you need it. But if you got other things, not so much. So thanks so much for watching this. And I'll be back with another video soon. Until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later. And by the way, if you ever get the time, Unbreakable. It's a fantastic movie. I think it's underrated. Look at it. All right. See you next time.